Okay, hi guys, welcome back to your professional diploma in fitness and weight loss, and we're on to our very first practical lesson of module 2. But before we get stuck into the lesson, just give me a quick yes or hello if you can hear me, and if not, hopefully you're reading the screen and typing no so the support staff can help you in any way. Okay, so let's continue. We're going to talk about gym-based strength today. I got so many people asked last week and the week before and the past few weeks to maybe talk about kind of gym-based strength and a gym-based strength program and how can I put it together. So that's what we're going to look at today. So when we're talking about gym-based strength, one of my favorite ways to split it is kind of 2 sets of muscle groups. So legs, back and biceps, and then chest, shoulders, and triceps. So that way we get to actually do 2 kind of gym-based workouts if we want to fit that into our week. So you want to perform each exercise nice and slow. And I'm going to go through that when it comes to the actual technique of the gym-based strength I'm going to show you in a little bit. Okay? So you're going to make sure you're concentrating 1 rep at a time. Even if we're doing 10 reps, don't think of it as I have to do 10 reps. Think of it as I have to do 10 1 reps. Because if you think it like that, then every single rep you're concentrating on. You want to make sure that you complete all sets with the same exact focus. Don't do the first set with great focus and the last set you're not even thinking about it because you're too busy on your Facebook in between. So we don't want to be doing that. And don't waste energy on poor form, okay? You're wasting your workout on poor form, you're wasting your energy on poor form, and there's absolutely no point whatsoever in doing it like that, okay? So again, just concentration, focus, really hitting the target muscle, and really trying to enjoy that exercise. Really, like if you pick the right weight and you focus properly, you're actually going to enjoy the exercise and perform it much, much better than if you pick the wrong weight, have the wrong posture, have the wrong technique, put yourself at risk of injury, and then you're not really enjoying your workout in the first place. And then lastly, guys, during sets, we want to make sure a couple of things. We want to make sure we have a focal point. We want to make sure we're not tensing up too much muscles we're not using, and then we have proper breathing and a proper rest period. So the focus point, whether you're doing a bicep curl or a squat or a shoulder press or a bench press, you want to concentrate on one point. You know, whether you're looking up into the ceiling or on the floor or on a wall, concentrate on one point to look at. Don't be looking around because you just want to concentrate and look at one point so you can actually focus what you're doing. Don't tense up all your other muscle groups. Concentrate on your target muscle and then relax all your other muscle groups. Just imagine they're not doing anything. You got to relax them all. You know, so relax them all except the target muscle. Now, obviously, if we're doing something like a squat, we'll be tensing the abs as well. But really, every exercise is an ab exercise, as I've said before. Breathing, we're going to breathe in on the eccentric and out on the concentric. And I will show that in each exercise. And the rest period, guys, your rest period is to refocus for the next set and get mentally prepared to complete it and to make sure we're actually recovering. It's not to check Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or send a text that is going to ruin your workout. It's going to get you out of your magic zone, and it's going to get you out of your focused magic zone. And speaking of your magic zone, because we have talked about this when it comes to our HIIT training, but I do want to talk about the magic zone when it comes to mind-muscle connection, strength, and focal point. The magic zone in the mind-muscle connection is essentially when you are performing the exercise properly and with the right weight and with the right posture. So the 1 second is concentric and 2 to 3 seconds is eccentric. Don't worry, I'm going to show you that in a second, guys. When it comes to strength exercises, it sounds complicated, but it's really not. The first 6 reps of the exercise should be pretty easy. It shouldn't be that challenging. It's 7 to 10 reps is what should be tough. So closer to 8, 9, 10 should be getting very challenging, but we can still complete it. And you just kind of work through that pain to complete the set. When I say pain, that burning sensation you'll start to feel in the muscle. So let's talk about day 1. Let's talk about chest, or let's talk about legs, back, and biceps, like I said at the start of that before we did that refresher on mind-muscle connection, okay? But that's your magic zone for your mind-muscle connection, okay? Now let's talk about it in real terms. We're going to do a gym-based strength workout for the upper and lower, essentially. So chest, shoulders, and triceps, legs, back, and biceps. We're going to do 3 separate circuits. I'm going to go through it now, and at the end, then we're going to do HIIT, high intensive interval training session.
So we're going to use 2 exercise circuits or couplets, okay? So you're going to complete each exercise back to back, resting 1 minute after each round. So exercise 1 is the squat. We're going to do 10 reps. Then we're going to take a few seconds but move straight on to exercise 2, do a single arm row on each arm. And then what you're going to do is rest 1 minute. And you're going to do that 4 times. So it's exercise 1 is the squat for 10 reps. Then, as quick as possible on to exercise 2 for the left and right arm individually. And then you're going to rest for 1 minute. And then complete that 4 times. That's circuit 1. Okay? So, for our squat, guys, I've shown you technique before, but really easy one here. You're going to push your bum back, slowly squat down. If you need to use a seat, you can. Most of your weight should be in your heels to your midfoot. So you should be able to lift up your big toe while you're doing the exercise. You're going to softly tip the box or softly tip a seat at the bottom if you're using a box squat. If you're very familiar with bodyweight squats or a weighted squat, then you know what you're doing, so you don't need me to tell you. And you're going to be pushing through your heels, stand up to the starting position. Now guys, this is a standard bodyweight squat. To make this harder, you can just hold a dumbbell into the chest, or even harder again, you can use a barbell holding onto the back if you are actually able to do that. So if you're a beginner, obviously stick with the beginner versions of the exercises. If you're intermediate advanced, you'll be able to progress this on. So we're going to do 10 reps of this. And then we're going to move on to the single arm row. And the advantage of this is we can do this in one area. If we're in the gym, we don't have to be walking around the gym to different areas of the gym. Each one of these circuits, all you pretty much need is a bench or whatever machine you're using around that, because you're not going to have to move. You're going to get through it within about, each set you're going to get through in about 8 to 10 minutes at most. And then you're going to, probably about 8 minutes at most, and then you can do a bit of HIIT at the end, giving you a good 40-minute session if that's what you want. Single arm row, guys, as you can see, one knee up on the bench, foot flat, slight bend of the knee, nice straight back, and he's pulling that dumbbell up to the chest, and then slowly back down. Pause at the top for a second, slowly back down, really working. And what we're working here is we're working our lats, latissimus dorsi, and biceps. Yeah? That's what we're working. So we're going to do 10 on the right arm, 10 on the left arm. So you're going to jump over the other side of the bench and alternate your feet. So that would be, here we have left foot up, right foot down, right arm. The other side you're going to have right knee up, left foot down, left arm. Yeah? And that's pretty much it. So 10 squats, 10 single arm on the right arm, 10 single arm on the left arm, 1 minute rest. And we're going to complete that 4 times, okay? So somewhere around 8 minutes it's going to take us, okay? Somewhere around 8 minutes, all right? So that is circuit 1, okay? Now you're going to rest again for maybe 1 to 2 minutes before moving on to circuit 2, and then we're going to move on to circuit 2. Now here we're going to be again working the legs, working the abs, working the back. So we're going to go with deadlift for 10 this time, or a forward or reverse lunge for 10 reps, and we're going to complete this 4 sets. Okay, 4 sets are 4 rounds, so resting 1 minute in between each round and completing it 4 times. Okay, so we'll go through the technique, and then I'm going to go through variations if you need to do it for, say, the forward or the reverse lunge. All right, so the deadlift, guys, again, it's the way we pick up anything. So you can use a barbell, you can use a couple of heavy bags. You're going to push your bum back a little bit further than the squat. Keep the chest kind of pointed as forward as possible. You're going to grip the handles or grip the bar, tense the stomach, and then keeping the stomach tense, you're going to stand up fully. Stand up fully, pause for half a second, and then slowly back down, reverse in the movement, okay? So we were talking about the concentric on the eccentric, okay? So essentially on the way up is the concentric, that's 1 second, then 1, 2 on the way down. So you're breathing out as you stand up and breathing in slowly on the way down. So you're breathing out on the way up and then in slowly on the way down. If you're not going to be using bags or a barbell, you can use something as simple as a dumbbell, same technique. You're going to breathe out as you stand up and nice and slow breathe in on the way down. Okay, so we're going to do 10 reps of that at a weight that's challenging enough for 10 reps. And then we're going to move on and do a forward lunge or a reverse lunge. So you can either step forward or step back, and we're going to alternate leg to leg, okay? So you're going to look forward, keeping a focal point in mind, and you're going to step forward or step back, whichever you prefer. This is just a forward lunge, in a controlled movement, stepping out slightly. Make sure that you keep your knee behind your toes. So that front knee, so if you're stepping back, you're still keeping the front knee behind your toes, okay? And then what you're going to do is get as close to the ground as possibly. If you can softly tip it off the ground, great. And then you're going to push up through your heel, back to a standing position, and alternate on the other side. Now these two exercises are working pretty much all your legs, all your back, all your abs, are incredibly challenging. And again, 4 sets. So 10 reps of deadlift, 10 reps of forward or reverse lunge, and then we're going to rest for a minute, and they're going to repeat that 4 times. If anyone has any knee issues or hip issues or anything like that, then you can actually replace this with just maybe a squat or a box squat or a squat jump or something like that. That's a little more anaerobic, but we're still getting a little bit of extra work into the legs. So you don't have to, obviously, if you have any knee issues and you can't do single leg stuff, you can go back and do a standard squat with a deadlift as well. Okay, so that's our second circuit. So 4 sets or 4 rounds, a 1 minute rest in between, 2 exercises, rest, 4 sets. And then we're going to rest and then move on to circuit 3. So this is mainly now working our back and working our biceps. So we're going to do a seated row followed by a seated bicep curl. So 10 reps in the seated row, 10 reps we can just spin around and do the bicep curl on the same machine, and then we're going to rest for 1 minute, and then we'll repeat that 4 times. After that, then we can move on and do a bit of HIIT cardio at the end. Okay? So circuit 3, seated row. It's almost like a nice, tall, postured, seated position, but this is great for anyone that has sedentary jobs and they're constantly have bad posture, because this is going to work all the upper back here. So all the back of the shoulders, the trapezius muscle, the mid back, the upper back, and even a little bit the lower back because you're leaning back. It also works the biceps as well. So what we're going to do is, in a seated position, bring your shoulders up and back and down just to get good posture. You're going to try and squeeze your shoulder blades together a little bit, and then you're going to pull all the way into the sternum. Okay, grab that handle, nice close grip handle, all the way into the sternum, and then you're going to pause for a second at the top and then slowly go back to the starting position. So this is the starting position. Tense the stomach, pulling into the sternum, keep the elbows nice and close, and then slowly back. Okay, fantastic fantastic exercise for fixing postural problems, postural issues in the back, and especially if you have a sedentary job and you're going to the gym afterwards doing legs and back. This is a great one as well. So is the deadlift, obviously, guys, but the deadlift, that middle circuit, anyone with any back injuries, hip injuries, knee injuries, you might just skip that middle circuit altogether and just do circuit 1, circuit 2, and a bit of HIIT. But if you've no issues whatsoever when it comes to joint issues or back issues, then you can literally do all 3 circuits, okay? So that middle circuit is a bit of a where you anyone with, see, good people I can't do single leg stuff. I have back issues. I can't do major weighted stuff or deadlifts. Physio told me not to do any deadlifts. Yeah, so guys, it is a case of that middle circuit, a little more intermediate advanced. So obviously if you're having issues, back, joints, knees, anything like that, you might skip that middle circuit, but you can still get 2 good circuits in, 16, 18 minutes of hypertrophy strength, and then moving on to your HIIT at the end, okay? Your bicep curl, guys, you can literally do it on this. So you do your seated row, then you spin around, and you can do your seated bicep curl, so facing the dumbbell slightly out, keeping the elbows nice and tight in. So in the seated position, hold the dumbbells slightly out to your sides. You're going to keep your elbows by your side, bring the dumbbells nice and slow up towards the shoulders, and then you're going to slowly bring them back to the start position and repeat for 10 reps. Okay, guys? So then, again, that mind-muscle connection, that focus on the bicep. Someone's saying, what's the concentric, eccentric? Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Sorry, guys. So again, the concentric here is as you lift up. So as you lift up and squeeze the bicep, you're working the bicep, breathe out and breathe in on the way down. So always when you're contracting the muscle, when you're actually using the muscle, it's the concentric, and the eccentric is when you're maybe lowering the weight or lowering the muscle or controlling it. Same with the squat. As you lower down is the eccentric. As you stand up, it's the concentric. So essentially, when you're using the muscle to contract and squeeze, then that's the concentric. Eccentric is the way down. So you're going to do either circuit 1, 2, and 3. So four rounds of each, minute rest in between. So all 3, or maybe the 1 and 3 if you have back issues or joint issues, and then go on and do a little bit of HIIT. And guys, again, whatever you want when it comes to the HIIT training, you can do high impact or low impact, and it just depends on your fitness level to what you're going to do work to rest period ratio. So, you know, if you're doing a high impact exercise, it'd be skipping or burpees or squat jumps or star jumps or hill sprints or kind of treadmill sprints. And then low impact would be more shadow boxing, cross trainer in the gym, row in the gym, stairmaster, climbing stairs yourself. And that's essentially your low impact stuff, okay? Now, your work period, 30 seconds or up around 45 seconds advanced. And your rest period depending. Beginners, maybe even use it, 30 to 45 seconds rest period. Beginners, intermediates, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. For advanced people, if you find the HIIT workouts are getting a bit too easy, you just start reducing the rest time. So we start taking that rest time down to 15 seconds or 10 seconds, so you can do a 30-second on, 15-second rest, or to make it even harder, more challenging, a 45-second work period with 15-second rest. So again, very, very, very challenging. If you're up to that level already, intermediate, advanced. And it's a great way of finishing off a strength workout with, even that strength workout, because it has 2 exercises back to back, it would still be considered a HIIT strength workout. But a great way to finish off doing, 2 or 3 circuits of pure strength exercises would be a bit of HIIT cardio at the end. Yeah? So that's a great way to finish out the workout. It's going to bring your workout to overall between 30 and 40 minutes, depending how many circuits you did, all 3 or 1 and 3 if you had joint issues, and it's going to give you a great workout overall. So that's your first gym day, yeah? You did your legs, back and biceps solely over 2 or 3 circuits, and then you did your HIIT cardio at the end. And then maybe a day or 2 or 3 days later, you might be back to the gym and go, well, what muscle groups do I have left? Well, you have your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps. Your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps left. So let's go through our chest, shoulders, and triceps and what way we're going to do this. Because again, we're going to do 3 circuits. We're going to do 4 sets of each, or 4 rounds of each with 1 minute rest. And then, of course, we're going to do a little bit of HIIT at the end, okay? So circuit 1, again, we're going to complete each exercise back to back, resting 1 minute after each round or each set. So a round or a set is essentially the same thing. Exercise 1, exercise 2, rest. That's 1 round or 1 set, depending what term you want to use. And then we move on to the next set. We do 4 sets or 4 rounds, and then move on to the next circuit. Yeah? So the first circuit we're going to do is bench press and standing shoulder press. So bench press first and standing shoulder press. All right? So 10 reps of each, just like in our legs, back, and bicep day. We're going to stick around 10 reps. A few people saying, why 10 reps? Why not 12 reps? Why not 15 reps? Why not 8 reps? The reason being, guys, is it's no, like if you want to do 8 reps, that's fine. If you want to do 12 reps, that's also fine. I find that 10 reps, for me, from training people for the past 8 years, I find that 10 reps is kind of the magic number to really stimulate a good level of strength, to stimulate a good level of growth in the muscle, to really stimulate good definition. And I just find 10 mentally is very easy for people because they kind of have that round number in their head to get to. So you can kind of think of 10 singles. Yeah, and that's all it is. That's all it is, guys. Because I can see lots of you writing, what about 20? You've given workouts with loads of different ones before. Yeah, but this is again, we're talking about 3 gym circuits, couplet exercises. We don't want to, if we had a lot of volume in here, 15 reps, we'd be very, very tired at the end and find it hard to really push through with our HIIT session. So let's talk about our bench press. We can do this flat or even slightly inclined, or we can do it on a machine, chest press machine, depending what level you're at. And, again, the barbell, or you can do it on a Smith machine, or a Smith machine is just like a bench press, but it's on a rail, or any chest press machine. You're going to hold the barbell slightly wider than shoulder width. Not too wide, just slightly wider, slightly outside your shoulders, shoulder width apart. You're going to slowly lower the barbell to mid-chest, guys. So just over the nipples. You see here? Just over the nipples. Okay? You're going to keep the chest and arms tense at the bottom. Don't relax at the bottom and completely let everything go. Keep it tense and push the barbell back up to the start position slowly, and repeat this for 10 reps. So as you're pushing up, again, contracting the chest and the triceps, that's the concentric. So you're breathing out as you push up, and you're breathing in as you slowly bring down for 2 to 3 seconds. Okay? Now again, guys, if you're not at a stage, you have beginner stages, I'd say use some sort of chest press machine. If you're at an intermediate advanced stage, you can do something like a bench press or a Smith machine. All right? And then we're going to move straight onto the shoulder press. So we're going to do our chest press straight onto our shoulder press, and we're going to do a standing shoulder press. So we can get straight off the machine, stand in front of it and do this. So again, we're in one point of the gym. We're not walking around different parts of the gym for different exercises. We can literally do a circuit, move on to the next part, a circuit, move on to the next part. So we're not taking up the entire gym. All right? So set of dumbbells, really easy. And you're going to hold essentially the dumbbells with a tight grip. Once you reach the top, slowly lower the dumbbells back to the ear level, and you're going to repeat for 10 reps. Okay? Repeat for 10 reps. And essentially then we have 4 sets of that. So we're going to rest 1 minute, and then we're going to do chest press or bench press, shoulder press, 1 minute rest, 4 times. That's circuit 1. Okay? Then we're going to rest for a minute or 2, and then we're ready to move on to circuit 2. Circuit 2 is again back to back. We're going to do press up and then a single arm shoulder press. Okay, press up and a single arm shoulder press. Okay, guys, so press up here. All right, now I'm going to show the full press up, but all the modifications for the press ups and the floor press is in your exercise library if you need to look at that. And guys, I didn't obviously put on every single modification when it comes to the exercises in this, because I'm talking about kind of general, kind of beginner to intermediate exercises. But if you're intermediate advanced, you know how to progress it by adding weight. If you're not sure about some of the exercises beginner wise, then guys, the exercise library is there and all of these are in there. Okay, so let's start the press up lying flat on the floor first. Okay, so lying flat on the floor first, you can see that the hand position is just under the shoulders, the chest is touching, but the stomach isn't really. It's kind of hovering, knees are up on the toes. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to press straight up, keeping the arms tight like a plank, and then slowly lower the body. So the hips aren't going up first, the chest aren't going up first, it's all together. If that's too challenging, you can try worm press up, which is chest up first and then hips. And if that's too challenging, we can do the knee press up. And if that's too challenging, we do a floor press. But all of those modifications are in the exercise library. But obviously, I always say, guys, everyone should be aiming eventually to be able to do a good level body weight squat, full range of motion, good few press ups and a few pull ups, no matter what. Because your body was designed to do that. When you were a kid, whether you were 4 or 5 or 6, you were able to do that. So you lost it somewhere along the line. It may have been before you even knew it, but you lost that fitness somewhere. Because we did develop it as we grew up as children. Okay? And then the single arm shoulder press, guys. Okay? So similar to the standing shoulder press with the double, but this time we're going to change the angle. So see the way we've changed the angle of the dumbbell. So instead of facing forward, now we're almost facing our palm to our ear. And it's slightly under the ear level. So now we can bring it right down to the shoulder. So it gives us a bit better full extension and working a little more tricep. Okay, so we're going to hold the dumbbell with a tight grip to ear level with palm facing forward. And then we're going to push straight, keeping the arms tight, squeeze the bum, fully extend the arm up over the shoulder. Once you reach the top, slowly lower and repeat for 10 reps. And that's your circuit 2. So you have your press up followed by single arm shoulder press, left arm then right arm, or right arm then left arm. and then we're going to rest for 1 minute. So we're going to do that 4 times before we move on to circuit 3. And then we'll move on to circuit 3, of course, guys. And circuit 3 is what? Well, circuit 3 is what's known as a drop set. And I wanted to actually talk a little bit about this because this is a really effective way. This is a really effective way of essentially pulling straight, it's a really effective way of working a muscle, especially isolation exercises like bicep curl or tricep extension. There's only so many exercises we can do with them, and if we really want to stimulate a good workout for doing some sort of kind of circuit or some sort of couplet, then we can stick with the same exercise and go from a heavier weight to a lighter weight one after the other. And then we complete that 4 times and we can move on to our HIIT cardio. So if we're talking about a tricep cable push down or tricep push down or tricep cable extension, what that is guys, I'm sure you've seen it in the gym, the rope extension is good, or you can also use the bar. But hold the rope or bar with a really tight grip, keeping the elbows quite tight to the side. Okay, see the way the elbows don't move? He has them here, he has them here, hasn't moved them. Okay, so you're not swinging the arms, you're not working the shoulders, we're trying to work the back of the arm, the triceps. Okay, so keeping the abs tight and the elbows nice and tight at your side, push straight down and try and fully extend the arms down. With the rope pulling out slightly, if you're holding a bar, it will just naturally go like that. Okay? Pause for a second at the bottom before slowly lowering back to the same position and repeat for, 10 reps. Sorry, I don't know why 12 reps is there, guys. Repeat for 10 reps. Then what you're going to do is lower it to the next weight. So lower it to a slightly lighter weight and then go straight into it again. Now, whatever weight you pick, guys, a couple of people are asking, how do I know what weight to pick? Exactly, guys. And I'm going to go through this again, but essentially whatever weight you're picking on these machines, pick the first set as a warm-up, so, something that you think you can do for around 10 reps. If you can suddenly do 12 or 15, well, you're going to make it heavier for the second set. That will let you gauge if that's closer to what you should be using. So then the third and fourth round, or the third or fourth set, you finally find the exact right weight. You're better off going too light to find out what you're able to do than too heavy. Because if you go too heavy, there's a risk of injury. Whereas if you pick something that's too light, at least you know that was too light. I'll just put it up here. And if you pick something that's ridiculously light, you're 5 reps in, then just stop and add weight. Like, there's no point in going through a full circuit if you know it's way too light. But that's how you know, okay? But that's a drop set. So sorry, I'll explain that again. A drop set is essentially one exercise that we do back to back with a heavier weight and then lighter weight. Okay? So that's why it's called a drop set. We're dropping the weight. So we're dropping the weight, but we're using the same exercise. And it allows us to really stimulate the muscle further in the exercise. So we could do it once, but if we do it twice, we can really stimulate the muscle. Very, very effective for isolation exercises. So things like bicep curl, things like tricep extension, things like certain shoulder movements, not necessarily this one, but things like lateral raises and front raises and bent over lateral raises. Fantastic for them, and I'll go through that in the next day when we're talking a little more about programming. But there are your 3 circuits there, guys. And then after that, of course, you can do your little bit of HIIT training. So you've done 3 circuits. Each circuit, as I said, will probably take about 8 minutes. So somewhere between 24 and 30 minutes. And then you can add your 10 or 15 minutes of HIIT to make it about a 40-minute, 45-minute gym session. And, it's quite challenging, but it really will teach you to develop your muscle strengthening exercises or your strength exercises. So if you're trying to get good at things like squats and press-ups and chest press and shoulder press and bicep extensions or tricep extensions, the bicep curls, if you're doing a lot of the HIIT-based training where it's jumping jack and then squat and jumping jack and then press-up, sometimes it's not giving us all the time we need to get very, very good at it. So we can always sneak in a session like this once a week or twice a week to possibly really work in it. Especially when we're at that intermediate advanced stage where we're really trying to get better at that mind-muscle connection and maybe are a little more specific about developing certain muscle groups if you're trying to build your shoulders more or build your chest more. Or let's say you're really, really happy with your legs, but your upper body's lagging behind. and you decide, I'm going to go to the gym once a week to really get access to some heavier weights so I can put my muscles under a bit more stimulus. Well, then you could do the chest, shoulders, and triceps, or you could do like chest and back or something like that and mix them. And you could literally just spend one session concentrating muscles that you think are lagging behind or a bit weaker. So you just concentrate instead of doing so much kind of cardio exercises in between. You go and do your couple of strength exercises for 2 or 3 circuits or 4 circuits. And then once you're really starting to develop that, then you can mix it back into your HIIT strength. Like it is a version of HIIT strength, but just not what what probably not used to from us. Yeah? Sound good? Perfect. And we have given stuff like this before when it comes to EMOMs, every minute on the minute and things like that. But it's just another different way of working out. 2 to 3 circuits, then HIIT cardio. 2 to 3 circuits, then HIIT cardio. And you can do it for any muscle group. You can do 2 circuits of legs exercises, or legs and abs, or shoulders and chest, or back and biceps. Or you can do 3 days like that. You could do a leg day, legs and abs. You could do chest and shoulders, you can do back and biceps, and you can do 2 circuits of each and then your high intensity. So there's so many ways you can mix it up. And yeah, that's pretty much, kind of the simplest way to get going in the gym. It's not about complicated, guys. It's not about complication. It's about the simplest way possible to program a gym workout. You're taking 4 or 6 very simple exercises that work those muscles, and essentially what we're looking at then is to develop those. Guys, any questions on that, or any, because I had to spend a good bit of time kind of going through the coaching points of that and how to do the circuits, and I know a lot of people were saying they wanted to see kind of a gym-based thing, and that's what I wanted to put together. Is there any kind of more stuff you'd like to see in terms of that, or explain that better? Amanda's saying it would be great to see what exercises work what muscles. Oh, okay, that's a very good point, because I kind of skimmed through obviously certain ones. In the foundation course, of course, I do that. We talk about what works certain muscles, but I haven't really touched that in the advanced course so far. I actually will add that next week, so I'll add all the exercises and which exercises works which muscles, so then you can actually take that format and almost start putting together little circuits for yourselves if you want to do that. Great question. Damien saying, I'm great with upper body, but my lower body is lagging behind. What do you suggest? Definitely just do a day of leg. Like a leg workout. So like literally, so if you're doing gym-based training, but it's being mixed with upper lower, then maybe do a chest, chest, shoulders, back, biceps, and legs. And leg day, you can like squat, and you can do a couple of 3 or 4 circuits. So you could do squats and lunges. You could do leg press and walking lunges. You could do you could do then Bulgarian split squats and jump squats or something like that, and really try and develop all of your leg muscles, because people don't realize it. So if you work your chest, you work your back, yeah? But with your legs, you have the front and back of your legs. So you have anterior and posterior chain. So some people only end up working their anterior, the front of the legs, and don't hit the back of the legs properly. So a good mix of single leg exercises, squats, deadlift type exercises will all do that. Any more questions, guys? Okay, very quiet. Not sure if the questions are filtering through properly tonight or not. Everyone seems, although I did talk a lot on that lesson. Any newbies a bit confused? Couple of newbies saying a bit confused. That's okay. Like, obviously, if you're new, like you guys are only new on the new semester, and you've seen last week's practical, and then I'm talking about gym-based workouts, you're like, what? Do I have to do these as well? This isn't about you have to add this, or this is just a suggestion of if you were adding a 1 to 2 strength workouts per week. Bit confused about this with mixing it with the HIIT workouts. Oh yeah, so as in how would you do HIIT strength and HIIT cardio? If you were doing, say, this on a Monday, say you were doing chest, shoulders and triceps. Tuesday you do HIIT cardio. You're not going to do another HIIT strength session. So Tuesday you do your HIIT cardio. Wednesday you might do your HIIT cardio. Thursday you could do your legs, back and bicep session. Friday you can do HIIT cardio, so you're doing 2 good sessions with 3 HIIT cardio. And then maybe in those HIIT cardio, you could do maybe exercises that you just weren't doing in those. But that would cover a lot of your muscle groups. That covers all your muscle groups in 2 days. So if you were doing both sessions, then you could just do 3 HIIT cardio amongst that, and that's your 5 sessions in a week. 2 HIIT strength and 3 HIIT cardio. Yeah, make sense? Perfect, guys. Brilliant. Would love to see exercises versus muscle groups and what works what. Yeah, it's good few people saying that now that I said that, that they'd love to see that. So I'll try and put that in next week's practical, because the practical, I had something planned around programming for the practicals because I'm teaching the practicals next week as well. So I'll definitely put it into next week's when we're talking about things like what exercise is best for what muscle groups, and then we can talk around people with injuries and medical conditions, and we can talk about actually what are the good alterations for that, because we're going to talk about injury and strength training next week as well. So actually that will be perfect, because if people have knee injuries, something like that, we can talk about different exercises. Okay, perfect, guys. Right, guys, I think I'll start wrapping up with a couple of things to get stuck into for kind of emails and stuff like that. I have a couple of you guys to get back to, so I'd love to get stuck into that side, guys. So there's a lot of questions coming in specifically about different muscle groups and different joints and different alterations. And with something like this, it's I wouldn't want to be giving general advice, so I'd rather, like, on an individual basis, if it confuses any of you guys, just email myself, and I'll make sure that I'll make sure to modify any of those exercises for whatever injury you have, yeah? So if you like the look of that, but there's 2 or 3 exercises you can't do, email me, because a lot of people are saying, what do we do this instead of that? What do we do this instead of that? But it could take me another half an hour to go through all that, so I'd rather just speak to people on an individual basis. Guys, I noticed there's a few people obviously on their last semester, or if they're planning to finish up at the end of this semester, give me an email. I'd love to give you a ring, have a chat, see how you're getting on, see how your progress is, and give you some advice on the next steps. Yeah? Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I'm sorry I wasn't as animated with the Q&A today. It was kind of a fairly heavy theory-based lesson for a practical, I suppose. So I probably wasn't answering as many questions as usual, but I will get back to you, with kind of one-to-one if needs be. Guys, I hope you have a great week. If you're trying that, good luck with it. Remember, stay in the magic zone of everything. And as I always say, feel 1% better every day.